the act of bringing a child into existence, so both partners give off seed. And if the woman gives off seed first, then the child will be a male. If the uh, husband gives off seed first, then it will be a female. So I'm going to read some selections from here, and then we have Tazria. Actually, Tazria comes from Metzora. Metzora means a leper, uh, and they read into it. Motzi Ra is Ray Reish Ayin, and it's that he gets leprosy because he speaks evil. Ra. We get to that,
Right.
but so here he brings a pasuk.
Continue.
Isha kisazria v'yolda zocher. Hadohu dichsiv kain v'chesed osisa imodi upekudaska shamra ruchi. This is a pasuk that's found in Job, and he says, Eob says that you have done with me great kindness, and your word guards my spirit. Rabbi Abba Bar Kahana Omer plus. Rabbi Abba Bar Kahana says three things. Beno Sheba Im notel adam anarchy shel ma'os. If a person takes a sack of money, the no strain lamata, and he'll put the mouth of the sack towards the bottom. Ein hamos mispazrois. Won't the money fall out and be spread out? V'avlad shori b'mei imo. The child lays to the open part of the mother. V'akadosh baruch hu mishamro shelo yipo v'yomus. God watches it that the child should not fall out from the womb of the mother and die. Ain't that schwach? Is that not a praise to God that God watches? You know, Torah Torah teachings are replete with the amazing thing, and it's in this parsha, a lot of it, the amazing thing that happens when the child is conceived from a singular blot, a singular drop of semen, and its way it spreads out in the body of the woman for 9 months and comes out a healthy child. Isn't that the Medrash say, isn't that something to praise God about? Can you not say, Hevichaim b'chesed asisa imadi, Job is saying, from my beginning, when I was in the womb of my mother, from when I was developed, and you look into the miracles of birth, development in the womb, and a healthy child comes out uh, in the great um, in
You're not gonna ask
most
him. You're giving
instances.
it. Right?
The
True. People.
that one of the things that convinced Dr. Velvel Green, whom I think most of you knew, and something that he marveled at was the how something that has to happen for the child to survive has to happen within 4 or 5 seconds, and if it doesn't happen, the child's going to die. God forbid, and it happens, and we don't even know and take anything about it. Um, the there is uh, a pasuk in Tehillim where
Rochester.
uh,
Going
it
off to
says
Rochester again. No.
"V'holim v'yonkim
No way.
yasareta oz lemamso
Let me
recha
come.
lahazvis oyed umisnakein."
Okay, for this.
Out of the mouths of
And I
babes
did kind of
and
do a little.
suckling infants you have gathered
Oh, I
strength
watched it already
against
on
your
the bench.
enemies to destroy the
Yeah,
enemy
I
in
was on
the
family leave.
adventure.
Yeah.
That it means to this,
TMI. This
you
person
have
go. Come on,
gathered
shoot the
strength
Yeah, anyway.
against those who deny that you're the creator, that there's
No,
creation.
he
This is
had.
not an accident. This couldn't be an accident. And physicists and doctors, it is preposterous to say that all the things that take place in the birth of a child is something that uh, from the way you created us, you have gathered strength to beat the enemy in the avenger. In this case, is to shut up the mouths who deny your existence. And this could not be. But and here is my good friend Belville Green. That's something that he even he explained to me how there has to be a great designer, constructor. This is not possible without intelligence behind it.
Let's see. Yeah, Bridget now.
Couldn't
She's
have
on
just have
traveling now.
happened.
Okay.
Big bang,
Yeah. Okay.
God
She left
forbid.
him. Great.
And
Yeah, that's
we
Bridget
don't
O'Brien.
give
Yeah.
the thought that
Yeah.
we should give to this.
You need her? No. Need not.
Um,
Bridget travels. Bridget. Yeah, that's a good point. Bridget. Bridget.
he says in this address, he says
Yeah.
that Tana,
No.
we learned Surah
Luckily,
Savlad
we took a walk
Pesach.
because.
What does the baby
Oh, be around the.
look like inside the
Right,
mother?
right, 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 right.
Tchilas briyoso
With me.
dome
Right on.
berosho.
Right. We are.
The
Come here
beginning
for the
of
word now.
his creation, uh, he looks like a Russian is a frog, uh, or a grasshopper, and Beis Einav, his two eyes are Beis Tipin Shells Vuv, like two drops in a fly. Ubeis Chotmov, Bestay Tipin Shells Vuv. And his nostrils are like two drops in a fly. Stay oznav to stay keeping cells move, and
Mhm.
in other words, they're
Right.
extremely small.
Mm.
And so he describes this to give you the
Mhm.
conclusion of this is going to be that uh, Allahu Omer on this on the small dimensions, the minuscule dimensions of the fetus as it is developing. Uh, the neshama says, you know, this Gomli Ra'u Einecha. That's a pasuk in Tehillim. My incomplete form, my a golem is a dummy, but I mean, here it means incomplete form. You have seen me in my incomplete stage,
Yeah.
and it brings out.
There's no chance. I mean, yeah.
It goes on to say a very interesting thing. Uh, it describes how the child, as it before it's ready to come out, um,
She is, but
um, Keser Havlad Shori B'mei Imo. How does the Vlad, the one who's going to be born, uh, the well, he's now what do you call a baby right before it's born? Embryo, or it's in the mother's womb, and it says like this. It's like mekupo umunach kipinkos. He looks in his mother's womb. He looks folded. Rosho munach lo bein birko. His head
she's trailing. Right.
is
Really
between
heavy.
his knees. Stay yadav al sha'ov. His two hands are on his side. Shnei akevav al shnei agavoso. His heels are on his elbows. P susum. His mouth is closed.
Hey, I found it. Yeah.
And tiburo pasuach. Um, his mouth is closed, and he is fed through the what the mother eats through the umbilical cord. The shosha mamasha imo shosha, oichel mamasha imo ocheles. The blood, the unborn child feeds from what the mother eats and drinks what the mother drinks. Uh, the Aino Mochi Rain, the shot, the blood, the baby uh, doesn't excrete anything. uh, because that could kill the mother. So it doesn't. God made it so that it doesn't have to
No, your brother.
excrete.
Sounds like a yes to me.
Ve'eno motzi ray. It doesn't give off
Sounds
weight.
like a yes to me.
Shema yaharogas imo. That could kill his mother. Yotzer la'avir ha'olam. When he comes out, niftach hasasrum. That which was closed, his mouth, v'nistam ha'pasuach. And that which the umbilical cord is closed. So if they bring forth the uh, that we should just focus on the miracles that are happening over here in the development of the child. And that's what it says in Tillim and Pi out of the mouth of uh, babies, suckling infant.
Obama.
It's
Barack
from
Hussein
where the
Obama.
after the baby comes out, from where it draws its milk from its mother, is also miraculous because from what the baby drinks is just what he can take and not more. Otherwise, he could choke. Anyhow, let's see all kinds of
Donald Trump.
miracles. And in the Midrash, it also brings Isha Kisazria, Dahu Dixiv, in Koheles, in Ecclesiastes, there's a pasuk that says, Kain Chelek Lishiva Begam Lishmaina. Give a portion to 7 and also to 8. What does that mean? Kain Chelek Lishiva, give uh, 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 the importance uh, to 7 Ela Zayin Yemei Nida. These are the 7 days of menstruation of the woman, of the mother. And Begam Lishmona, Elu Ches Yemei Hamiva. It says in Isha Kis Azriya Vioda Zohar, and it says B'yom Hashmini Yimo Ksar Aloso. On the 8th day, he will be circumcised. So they read this, they cause it to be read as follows. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be He, said, Im Shamarta Yemei Nida. You know, this is a very basic core observance in Judaism, and that is family purity. That's what they call it. And that is that male and female, uh, for part of the month, uh, do not have physical relationships with each other. And for part of the month they do. And it's quite known that observant Jews have the largest families. But uh, this is something that Jews are not terribly knowledgeable about. And that is that the laws of separation, they're not separated physically, they don't live apart, but they just don't have physical contact with each other during the
Oh, you go.
her menstrual period, and
Rabbi
for
Herson.
7 days
What's going on
uh,
down
not seeing any blood,
there?
and then she
Rabbi
goes
Moshe
to the
Person.
mikveh, and that's the importance of the
Who was the lucky enough?
institution of mikveh. The mikveh is uh, it looks like a small swimming pool, but it's made of. It has to have uh,
Look at this guy.
pure living water, and you can have city water, but there has to be one uh, bore, one excavation next to it
Guys, look
where
at
there
this.
is water flowing from a stream
You
or rainwater, and that makes it kosher. And every community has its
those
mikveh
people.
for women. Uh, Men use a mikveh also, but
Can I go?
they far
Sure.
more often
Can I
than
bring you?
women. Men go,
Absolutely.
many men
Okay.
go
It's okay.
before davening every morning, and
Huge.
but women have to go
Yeah, it's kind of
in
nice.
order to be able to have a relationship with her husband. So she goes to the mikveh, and then it's obligatory for them to be together on the night that she has gone to the mikveh. So here, the the Midrash
The wolf
says
now.
that
They're out.
if you have been observant, im shamarta yemei nida, if you have been careful about the
There.
uh, the days of ineligibility to have physical
Yeah, you put it away.
relationship.
Like,
Ani nosin l'cha ben,
where do you get
and
stored?
I will give you a
Okay.
son, and
You
atamolo
gotta keep it cold.
ushmona. So
You'll
you
rot.
will
Well,
circumcise
then it's
him
going
and
rot
have the
over here.
celebration of a bris. Habi ubiyei mashmini yimol sar orloso. So
Okay,
uh,
who's in show?
if
Go.
you have been this
Well, they do.
if you have been
Here's
observant
a view of typical foods.
of the laws of Taharas HaMishpacha, family purity, and
Don't see
that's
how
the
well.
7 days after her period that the woman has to watch
Oh, yes.
and see that there
Okay,
is no flow,
okay,
and
that's a shame.
then she goes to the
Very well.
mikveh, and they
I'll check.
establish contact with each other.
Okay.
And absence makes
Yeah,
the
I don't
heart
know.
grow fonder. And this is one
It's
of the
okay. I don't
things
know.
that has strengthened
Where?
Jewish marriages.
I won't check it. I think I check it. Oh, question. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Then there's an interesting, you don't see this too often in the Medrash, where you have Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel offering
Okay.
opinion.
Thank you for
So
that's
here
okay.
in
I'm not
Perek
I
Tes
don't
in
want to
Tazria, it says
go.
Beis Shammai u Beis Hillel. Beis Shammai Omrim, the house of Shammai, the students of Shammai, Shammai school,
He's cleaned.
say like this: Lo kishem sheyitziras havlad be'olam hazeh, not like the way the child developed in this world, kach yitziraso le'olam haba. Hey, we believe, it's a core belief, that man is going to be resurrected and
Hey Google,
be
who's muted?
recreated. Uh,
Hey
he
Google,
has
who are the Black
his
IP?
body was absorbed in the
Hey
earth,
Google,
and
who are the Antifa?
he rests underground and decomposes and has to be rebuilt,
Black Lives Matter. Hey
recreated
Google,
as
who
such.
are Black Lives Matter?
The soul rests as a molecule and it lives, and we can't understand the life of the soul that lives on after
You killed George
death.
Floyd, blah blah blah.
Uh,
George Floyd.
uh,
George
it says in scripture that the body returns to
Floyd.
the earth from whence
You're
it
gonna come
came,
in. You're gonna
and the
what?
soul is
Yo,
absorbed by God, uh, which is the difference
inflation or
between life
boxing.
and death,
Gee,
the existence of the soul and the taking out of the
I don't
soul
think you
from
should
the
be watching
body.
Fox tonight
But
anymore.
now
You know
we're
what I mean?
talking about the
Then that station
recreation of it.
makes you crazy.
That's so.
So it's like,
So Beis Shammai, and this is very real to Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. There's such a thing as Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. And Beis Shammai gives the opening statement, Lo kishem sheyitzira nevlad v'olam hazeh, kach yitziraso le'olam haba. Not the way he's created, how he's created in his mother's womb. In this world, is the way he's recreated when he comes out of his resting place.
what is Israel?
Um, Ba'olam hazeh, in this world, maskil be'or ubasar. The child uh, the
Israel.
beginning of the formation of the child
Israel.
is with skin
Israel.
and flesh and blood and
Hey Google, who's
or
Ari
with
Fleischer?
skin and with flesh. Basar, literally, basar means meat, but
Hey
of course,
Google,
in
who's
this
Peter
case, it
Jennings?
means the body, the skin which covers the body. That's and then, in other words, the shell is created first, the goymer, and it's
Hey Google,
concluded
who's
begidim
Charles Dickens?
ba'atzamos, and afterwards it's put the limbs and the bones are fitted into are formed in the flesh and under the flesh and the skin. Abalasi lavo, this is what Beis Shammai is saying. Maskil begidim ba'atzomais. First, the bones and the limbs are
Hey Google,
formed,
who's Charlie Brown?
begoimer be'or, and then the skin covers it. Skin kasu b'meisei cheskel. That's what says that, there was the
Google.
valley of the dry bones in Ezekiel. Um and he says, the EC, I saw in these
Hey Google,
valley in
who's
these dead
Woodstock the bird?
bones that I see
Hey Google, who's Woodstock?
flesh and
Hey Google,
skin
who's Woodstock of the
are
Beast?
formed around them, around the dead bones.
Woodstock, the little bird.
Milmaila, yet Ruach Abraham, but they don't have a spirit in them yet. The soul has not been returned
Hey
to
Google,
them.
search images of Woodstock.
So,
Hey Google, search images of Woodstock the bird.
uh, so Omar Rabbi Shia Barabba Ain Parshas Yecheskel Raya. You can't bring that as a proof of how uh, in Olam Haba the people are going to be formed and come out alive.
Hey Google, who's
There's a
Kamala
difference
Harris?
between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. Um, why? Lama Mesa Yecheskel Domin,
The Harris. I was like,
those that
you know,
the
related
dead
to
bones, the dead people that Yecheskel saw in his vision, they're like Misha Nichnas
Rush
Merchatz,
Limbaugh. Hey
like
Google,
somebody goes
who's
into
Rush Limbaugh?
and Merchatz is a washing station, a shower. He goes there, has special houses, showers. In those days, they put pools and showers that they get.
For
If one
what?
didn't have an individual one in his home, it was like somebody who
Hey
goes
Google,
into
who's
the
Scott Pell?
Merchatz, the cleaning station.
Hey Google, who's Scott Pell?
Dash a Parsha Akron Loves Rishon. Uh, what do you you go into a pool?
Steve Wolf.
What do you, what you've
See some?
taken off
Why? Hey Google, who's John
uh,
Wertheimer?
the last. First, you take off
Hey
your
Google, who's John Wertheimer of
overwear,
CBS News?
your shirt, your pants, and then you take off your underwear.
Hey Google, who's John
What do you put
Wertheimer of
back on?
CBS News?
You put back on your underwear first, and then the
Hey
shirt and
Google, who's
pants.
John Wertheimer of
So,
60 Minutes? Hey Google, who's John Wertheimer of
um,
CBS News?
so this is what the situation of the bones of Yecheskel. Beis Hillel אומרים, כשם
Hey Google,
שיצירתו
who
של
sings
אדם
YMCA?
בעולם הזה, just like the person is created in this world, כך יצירתו בעולם הבא.
Hey Google,
That this is the way he is
who's the cast of Seven Heads?
created. He is formed, just like he's formed, like in
Hey
the
Google,
womb
who's Barry Watson?
of his mother in this world. כך יצירתו בעולם הבא, so shall he be formed in the world to come. בעולם הזה משכיל
You get to
במוח
see people, you'll see
ובשר.
the fly. You
In this
forget.
world, it
You
starts
forget
off
the
with
reason for
skin
that.
and flesh. The
I went to
Goimer
George Floyd
Begigi
Square.
Natsamas,
So I went to George
and is
Floyd. Why
completed
did you
with
go to
the
George Floyd
bones and the
Square?
sinews and the limbs.
Why did you go?
Okay.
Why did you go to George Floyd Square?
And the time to come, it will be also
And
that
so,
way. And the Hillel, in most
what did
cases,
George
has the
Floyd do?
prevailing
What
opinion.
is
Shikain Il Omer
he?
B'chorna
Hey Google, who's George Floyd's wife?
Kachomer Asisoni.
Hey Google, did George
Hello,
Floyd have any siblings?
Cholov uh, Ben,
Hey Google,
he
who's
brings
Bridget
a
Floyd?
pasuk that from Eel that proves his point of Hillel. So, and that doesn't happen. The difference is, of course,
I think you
that in
watch
Olam
women's
Haba,
social media.
the
Finish.
creation, the formation of the person doesn't happen in a mother's womb, but it happens just like it happens in a mother's womb.
Hey
And
Google,
the
who's
difference
John
between
Dickerson?
Shammai and Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel, Beis Shammai just says that in this world first uh, the uh, the limbs and bones, and then comes the skin and flesh. And Beis Hillel
Look,
says no,
who is Maurice
just
Dubois?
like just like it comes in this world, the flesh and blood is first, and that's the way it happens in this world, and that's the way it'll happen in the next world. And stay tuned; we'll see the way it
Hey
happens
Google, who's
in
Jan
the
Crawford?
next world. But what is core for us to know is that we very strongly believe in the next world, and that
Hey Google,
the
who
revival
is
of
Tulsi
the
Gabbard?
dead is a fundamental belief in Judaism. We say it 3 times a
Hey
day. We
Google,
make a bracha on it.
who is Charles Dubois?
You gotta believe to resurrect the dead. Baruch
Betsy
atah
Devine.
Hashem, lesser you got. Mechaya Mason. And if it wasn't core, he wouldn't make a bracha on it. It would be a bracha of
Hey
Torah.
Google, who's John Daly
And
of Real TV?
that is the ultimate consolation in consoling
What is
the
I have no money.
survivors of
You have
the
no money? You stole mine.
children
You
of
sent her money. So she doesn't
is
steal
that
it.
hey, you'll see your parents
There's no
again,
such thing as your money.
and
There's no such thing
you'll
as
see
your
the
money.
artwork once
Like Bernie
again,
Sanders right now, Bernie.
and
Bernie Sanders. He's
that
dead.
it's not a fairy tale; it's a basic belief.
Oh, sir, money.
We can, and they live in a world
Bernie
that they
Sanders.
can't do anything anymore, but
Bernie Sanders.
they can grow as it is. They can go higher and higher based on what their their descendants do for them, good deeds, helping others, uh, learning Torah, saying their Tillim, giving tzedakah for them, that rises them
Does Bernie
in
Sanders
the
say
next
there's no such
world.
thing
And
as
the
your
next
money?
world is, there's no end to the rising.
Donald Trump said, I hate Jews.
I want to. I've come across a story that I want to read to you. Maybe I've told it before, but it's been a long time, and it certainly uh, it, it is I've never read a story like that, and you'll see. I'll get to it, but before that, I want to um, turn to the next. The second Sedra is Metzora. Those Torahs are Metzora. Uh, that Moshe teaches the laws of Torah to the Jewish
This
people.
is
Again,
like
this week's Torah lessons are two, Tazria and Metzora. The name of the first Sedra is Tazria, Isha Kisazria, when a woman will give forth seed and she will give birth to a male, and Metzora, the laws of a leper. So and they they take out from the word Metzora, Motzira. It brings forth from him, what is a Metzora? A leper? Someone who brings forth from him gossip, evil. And uh, I'll read the Midrash. It's Perek Beis in Parsha Tez Zion.
16. 16.
Zois Kiat Paras HaMetzorah. This shall be the Torah teachings that cover
Okay, we
the
found it. Thank you.
purification of the Metzorah. Adahu Diksiv. You can apply to what is the purification of the Metzorah, a very important passage in Tehillim. And it's the passage that says, Mi ha'ish hafafetz chaim. Who is the man who wants life? Nishtor l'shon chomera, so secha midaber mirma. Guard your lips from speaking bad guile. And and your lips from speaking wrong. And he brings a story. I think we've covered this story once, but it's a very tellable story, and a very one that brings a strong lesson to it. Maise beroichel echad shehoya machzir ba'ayaros. The story, the Midrash says, the story is about a peddler who went around in the cities, shehoya shluchim mitzipuri. He went around his district of sales was the Tzipuri. That's the name of a section in Israel. V'haya makriz v'omer. And he would call out, a peddler in those days would call out his wares. And this is what he would cry out. Man boy lemizman sam hachayim. Somebody who wants to purchase a elixir, a drink of life, a medicine that gives life. Otkinale, come to me. And Rabbi Yanai is a sage. Hayayashiv uposhet betrukline.
I'll be back.
Shama
I'll be
Machris.
back.
He was
I'll
in
be
his Sefer
back.
story
I'll be
apartment,
back.
and he heard the call.
I'll be
Man
back.
boy Sam Chaim, who wants a medicine of life, something that gives life, and who wouldn't want such a medicine? Amalei, uh, he told his Amalei Tosak Lahaba Zabin Lay. Goes out and he told his his servant, go down and buy some of this elixir, that this juice, this potion that you
Google, what's
drink
adult swim?
that gives life. On my way, um, so he sent back the message to Rabbi Yanai, Lav an Tzorech Lei. You don't need this medicine. Below the kabosek, and not like those who are like you. This medicine is not for you. You don't need it. You don't need it.
That's pretty dumb.
You will have life without it. Lab and sorech late. You don't need this medicine. Below the kabosek, and not to those who are like you. In other words, the rabbis, the tzaddikim. Um,
It was 13.
so Itrach Alei, he called him up. Salik Gabe, he came to him, and he wanted to see what is this
Brian Stevens, not
elixir of
gay.
life?
I
What
hate
is
gay
this
people.
potion of life?
And I
What is
hate gay
this
people.
medicine? Samachai. So what did this peddler do? Hotilo Sefer
Yo, black
Tehillim.
Nick. Whoa, 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 whoa.
He took out of his satchels where he carried his goods, and he took out a Sefer Tehillim. Now, in the time of the Midrash, this way before printing, but it was on parchment. They had this for him. They had the whole Tanakh and parchment, and he had Tehillim rolled up, and he brought him out. Hochilo Sefer Tehillim, Herelo Pasik. He showed him the pasuk in Tehillim where it says, "Mi ha'ish hachafetz chayim." Who is the one who wants life? Makshi Basle. What it says right after that? Mitzvah l'shoncha meirah. If you want life, keep your tongue, guard your tongue from talking evil, talking gossip, making fun of people, from making stories or telling the Lashon Hara about people. Sur Meirah, this continuation of the pasuk. Go away from evil, Vasei Tov, and do good. Spend your time doing good, and not being frivolous and licentious and exercises and doings, and things that waste your time and your energy, and it doesn't do any good. Sur Mela, go away from that. This is a world of choice. You can choose to go away from that. Sur Mela. You want life? What does it say? This is his medicine. What it says in Tillim. Guard your tongue from evil. And it goes on to say, Sur Meira, go away from evil, Vasei Tov. So Omar Rabbi Yanai said, Afshleima Ham Machriz Amar Abiyana Av Shlomo Machriz V'Omer. Shlomo HaMelech also, the one who said the aforementioned pasuk of Mia Ishach Chaim was Shlomo's father, David HaMelech. But he also Amar Abiyalai Av Shlomo Amar Machriz V'Omer Shomer Piv Ulishono, and this is something that everybody should memorize, which was stated and written by the wisest of all men, Shlomo Melech. This is the perfect piece of advice. Shomer Piv Ulishono. Somebody who guards his mouth and his tongue. And that's where, you can Shemer Mitzoras Nafshe, one who guards what he eats, pig, and and he's careful in what he eats and doesn't get sick from what he eats. Shemer pig. He's judicious as to what he takes in. Certainly kosher food. But there's, kosher food that's junk food also. And you got to be a shemer pig. You got to guard what goes into your mouth. And ulishono, and your tongue, what goes out of your mouth. Anybody who watches what he takes in and what he gives out, he, shemer mitzoras nafshoy, he is guarding against the tsaras. Everyone knows what tsaras is. The negative situations of the soul, the mouth of the, he can make himself sick if he doesn't watch what he takes in, what he eats, and he can get himself into big trouble with what he says. So if he watches, this is what Rabbi Yanai correlated with what King David said. Me Shacham, who wants life? Hey, uh, watch your language. Go away from bad. And you can take that to mean also go away from bad food, from junk food. Uh, and that's what Rabbi Yanai says that, hey, David HaMelech's son goes along with him and says that, if you're careful with what you take in with your mouth, what you give out with your then you will not have troubles. You will watch out from troubles in your life. And you can see that, a person who is careful with what he eats and careful with what he says, he doesn't have the troubles. How many people have messed up their whole lives with illness and with not criminal speech for sure, but saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. Amar Rabbi Yanai. So Rabbi Yanai, who was sitting upstairs, and he hears this peddler calling us up. Call Yomai Isi Korah Pasuk
Here, about Israel.
All my life, I've been reading these pasuk.
I don't care about Israel.
And below Hayisi Odea Eichanu Pashut. I didn't internalize it. I didn't really internalize it, take it seriously. Until this peddler came and put it in this context. Vodia, when he put it in a way that was look, Rabbi Yanai was a great scholar, and the Rochel was a pretty sharp. The peddler was a pretty sharp guy too, and he said he knew who Rabbi Yanai was, and he said, "You don't need this medicine. You watch your mouth, and you stay away from evil, and you do good." But the commentators on this says that, hey, what exactly does he mean that I've been studying Tehillim, all my life? Again,
Hey Google, when was George
Omar
Floyd
Rav
killed?
Yanai, Kol Yomai Hayisi Korei HaPasuk Hazeh. All my life, I've been reading this. Mia Isha Chofetz Chaim. I've been studying this, but this peddler made it, this peddler, when he called it a medicine, and he gathered people around him that were excited. He's selling a potion that gives life, and people gather around him, and they're excited about it. And then I looked at it in a deeper way. That I internalized it. When this peddler came and said, "Who wants to buy life? Who wants to buy this samachai, this medicine that gives life?" And therefore, L'tichach Moshe Mazir es Israel. And therefore, in this our Sedra, Moshe Mazir es Israel. V'omer lahem. And he says to them, and this is the opening passage of Metzora, Zos tia Torah HaMetzora. This will be what will happen. What is the Torah? The whole Parsha of Torah's Hamotzi Shem Ra. Somebody who Motzi Shem Ra is one of the big Averos that he gives a bad name to somebody, and therefore he's punished with leprosy. And read the continuation of the Sedra.
Yeah, sure. Your thumb. Okay. Didn't he reply? I don't know. He didn't reply. Okay, well, you want to share it? Yeah. You want to share it? Yeah.
So we have this is uh, sorting out my basement and finding all kinds of stuff. And is Moshe Lipschitz on? Moshe Lipschitz.
I am on. Yes, sir.
I'm on one side of this, and can you see this? There's a picture of my putting on film with your father.
Yeah.
In color. The other, this is from
Yeah.
Lubavitcher monthly or weekly, and I can get it to you'll.
Why are you showing a picture of Randy Meyer? Okay, why are you showing a picture of Randy Meyer?
The story.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Tell you.
That's Randy Meyer.
Like
why are you
this.
showing you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10. Okay, we have.
Yeah, that's Randy Meyer.
Okay, I'm reading it because I feel it's very important that you get every detail of this story.
Okay.
In
That's Randy
1985,
Meyer. That's
Rabbi
Randy Meyer.
Yehuda
That's Randy
Schwartz,
Meyer.
a Lubavitcher chassid in Paris,
I know Randy.
was a truck driver.
Angry Fox 9.
Orly
Angry Fox 9.
importers
You brought up
of
Fox 9.
food from Israel to France. The company was owned by Rabbi Daniel Amram, also a member of the Lubavitch community in Paris. Okay. Once, as Yehuda, the truck driver, was driving a used truck that had been purchased 2 weeks earlier,
Yeah, that's
he realized that the brakes didn't
What the hell
work.
are you showing?
He was nearing a red light at a busy intersection. He had 2 choices: to continue forward and kill many people, God forbid, or turn left towards the bridge and fall into the river and get killed. And so what did he do? Yehuda turned the wheel sharply and ran into the side of the bridge.
What about Fox 9?
The truck broke through the railing.
Amy Hockert.
Listen to this.
What about Fox 9?
He had
What
2
about
choices.
Fox 9? Do you have any?
He could let it go straight and he'll kill people and probably himself, or he'll make a left and go over the bridge and he'll get killed. But no, that didn't happen. The truck broke through the railing, but then remained suspended half over the water, the other half on the bridge. Emergency personnel worked for hours to extricate.
Hey Google, search Donald Trump 100 Days ABC News.
The next day,
Hey Google,
all the
search Donald Trump 100 Days ABC News on YouTube.
carried a photo of his truck balanced on the bridge, on the bridge's edge. God had made a miracle. The police investigation uncovered that the brakes had been faulty for quite a while. The damage to the bridge was 25 million francs. Anybody got any knowledge what's that in the United States dollars? This is in 1985. This is a true story, and this is a miracle. that he didn't get killed, and he didn't kill anybody else, but the bridge was damaged.
That illegal crossings at the southern border
And
have plummeted.
25 million francs. How much is a franc? I have no idea. Anyhow, it's a lot of money. And according to the findings of the judge, one or more of the parties would have to pay.
The interview in the Oval Office with
In addition
ABC's
to Rabbi
and senior
Amram
national
as the owner of
correspondent
the
Terry
vehicle,
Moran.
and Yehuda, the driver, there was also an extremely wealthy
What made you
elder
bring him up to
gentleman who owned the company that had been
Just
responsible for repairing the truck. In other words, they sold the truck with the faulty brakes for fixing them to Yehuda's company.
Is it okay if I share that
So each
Minnesota Rabbinical Association
party
meeting with Rabbi
came with
Moshe Feller
lawyers who
and
would argue
think about
that
it?
someone else was to blame.
No.
But when the elderly
I
man,
don't know.
who was a wealthy man who owned the company that sold the truck to Rabbi Amram and to Yehuda was an employee of Rabbi Amram. But when the elderly man saw Yehuda and Rabbi Amram with the lawyers from both sides, he said, "It's not important to me who is at fault. I agree to pay the damages, the fine, and the expenses
I'm
of
gonna
the
stop
case."
share.
Hey, this owner of the company that sold the truck, probably
Yeah, I do want to share a letter.
Amram had some level of guilt about
Yeah.
trying out the truck before sending it out with Yehuda. Yehuda should have tried it out, and this guy shouldn't have sold it a unfixed vehicle. But this guy is suddenly saying, "I'll pay everything."
Well, you can send it to him if you want.
Again, but when the elderly man saw
I'm sure he'll send it to
Yehuda
you.
and
Throw it out.
Rabbi Amram with their beards and black hats in the courtroom, to the amazement of the judge,
Right. Let me
the lawyers from
go back
both
to
sides, he said,
when you said
"It's
that.
not important to me who is at fault. I agree to pay the damages and the fine
I don't
and
care
the
whether it's
expenses of the
NBC.
case." The judge was so taken aback that he waived the fine. He only had to pay for the damage that the truck had done to the retaining fence of the bridge. That was up to 25 million francs. And then the man said that he would take the truck to be fixed at a garage near his home, and he would pay all the expenses. 3 weeks went by, and Rabbi Amram got a phone call. The wealthy man was in Paris and could drive Yehuda back to the mechanic and get the truck, which was unfixed. A half hour into the ride, the gentleman started asking Yehuda about Judaism. Yehuda, still shaken
That's a
from
really good idea.
the trauma
You can think about it. That's
of
a
the accident,
okay.
not really
Yeah,
interested
I
in
do want to
getting
share a
into a
letter that
conversation.
sort of rabbinical says.
The elderly gentleman who paid continued on to tell him, to Yehuda, "I once knew a rabbi."
What he
The man reminisced. Let me see if I remember his name. Oh, it was Shiur. He was a student with us in our mathematics class in the Sorbonne.
Yep.
Sorbonne is the most famous
I remember that.
university in Europe. Now Yehuda began listening more intensely. Of course, he recognized that's the Rebbe. And so the wealthy man, not Jewish, uh, continues, and he's going to give the reason why he offered to, why he paid all the expenses of this accident. And he's telling him now, and now Yehuda's listening big time. And he's describing the Rebbe.
Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara.
He was a noble-looking young man, dressed elegantly, but not in the style of Paris. He always sat at the back of the class with a book on his lap. Guess which book? Gemara. And did not appear to be paying attention to the lesson. Moreover, he was Jewish. We were not brought up to love Jews. Hey, anti-Semitism is nothing new. We were not brought up to love Jews. And in occupied France in 1939, we did not have much to do with him at first. In those difficult days, the old man continued to say, some friends and I would earn money to pay for our studies by peddling butter on the black market. This involved traveling a distance, and we would often be too tired to concentrate during our classes.
All right.
But this young man,
Why are you sharing?
Back to the Rebbe, he was in the Sorbonne.
What got you inspired? Okay. Don't tell me what joke for. Okay.
So we said that they were involved in the selling of getting butter to sell on the black market to be able to pay for their education at the Sorbonne. But they were too tired to listen to the professor giving the lessons in mathematics to concentrate during our classes. This young man would explain the difficult problems to us, meaning the Rebbe. Many times his explanation was more clear than our teachers. His explanation, in this way we grew to appreciate his intelligence and good character. He was doing what the teacher should be doing. And we became close to him.
We got perfect Fox now.
Then one day, one of our professors, who clearly did not like Jews, decided to mock our fellow students.
Not saying
he put up an extremely difficult problem on the blackboard.
He's a great guy. Also.
And then he said,
having said that,
to the class,
having said that,
we have with us an extremely intelligent
pretty much
Mr.
I'll let you continue. Let me explain it.
With disdain.
But I'm not this up.
I am sure that he can come up here and solve the problem for us. Okay, professor who didn't like the fact that they held a letter on his lap. Upon hearing his name, Rabbi Sneerson stood up He walked calmly to the front of the room,
Quoting something
looking
along. Okay,
regal as
sure.
always. The Rebbe always had a tremendous
Yep,
regal.
right. You don't want to share this.
To the astonishment of the students and the teacher,
Let's not record.
both of them, he solved the problem that should have taken an expert an hour and a half or more to complete. In a matter of a few minutes, the Rebbe solved the problem.
No.
We were happy that our friend was not embarrassed, but the professor grew more and more angry
What did they
by
think?
the minute. Imposter, thief, he shouted. Tell me who gave you this solution, this answer.
I didn't want to.
After the professor
I'm sure.
complained, Rabbi Schneerson was summoned to the dean's office, where a number of administrators were gathered to evaluate what had happened. Here, a professor put a very difficult mathematical problem on the board, which would take an expert a good hour and a half to solve. And the Rebbe walks up and does it in a couple minutes. So the
Can I share a letter?
anti-Semitic
Yeah, sure.
professor
Anti-Semitic.
it was impossible for somebody to do and figure it out in a couple of minutes. And he must have known the answer or stole it from somebody, and he got very angry. And the thing was reported
So you
to the
shared.
dean, and the Rebbe was called to the office.
Can I share with you guys a letter? Sure. Let me stop. I don't want this to be recorded. I want this to be on the.
So
Oh, sure.
they
Yeah.
called
No.
him to the office, and Rabbi
Oh, yeah.
Schneerson then explained to them
Your video
in
might be
great
taking that.
detail over several hours exactly how he had reached the solution in a couple minutes to the problem. They were astonished. The administration and the dean, they were astonished at the innovative approach that he had taken and at the lucidity of his explanation. He didn't drop an answer for anybody. He came to himself.
Oh, Fox 9. Okay, well,
that
explains
to the
everything.
professors
Okay.
and the deans and
The Fox 9.
administrators.
Okay.
Once the administrators realized that they were dealing with a person
Boom.
of unique intelligence, they hastened to apologize for what happened in the class. The professor was forced to beg forgiveness for the way he had treated his student in front of the class. I believe that the story was recorded in the official Livre d'Or of the Sorbonne. The man finished.
He loves the balls.
Now you can understand why I insisted on paying for everything. I have often thought of my classmate from long ago and wondered how I could repay his kindness. He got them through the test. He told them, he explained to them the problems, and
Decided to share your
class. And this wealthy man was always thinking about his kindness, and he became a wealthy man.
What did they think?
Now you can understand why I insisted on paying for everything. I had often thought of my classmate from long ago and wondered how I could repay his kindness. when I saw you and your friends, black hats and beards, I remembered Rabbi Schneerson and realized that the moment had come when I could do an act of kindness for his fellow Jews and settle my debt of gratitude to him. So this is the story, my friends. I hope that any comments? Still on.
Typical of the Rebbe and very extreme and extraordinary, I would say.
Okay.
Hey, Rabbi Feller,
Yeah.
can I share a letter from the Minnesota Rabbinical Association
A letter?
they sent out?
When?